for this event and to all of you for participating and taking it. At first, I want to say that Colombia follow OECD guidelines, and since 2019 is part of the OECD. So all what came from the OECD will be applied in Colombia, but we need to pass this recommendation over the local law. Regarding fiscal year 2020 TP matters, in particular, I will talk today from a theoretical point of view how the resale price method could be applied in Colombia given COVID-19. Um, for understanding what had happened in fiscal year 2020, we need to understand what happened in Colombia during fiscal year 2019. During that year, in income TP transactions have a 44% of participation over the total amount of the TP transaction, and expenses transactions have a participation of 56%. So what happened here in Colombia is that the expenses transaction, the most expensive transactions are the purchase of inventories for its distributions. Thus, in Colombia, the distributions company are analyzing by using the TNMM method or CPM in US, and the Colombian company as the tested party with the return on sale ROS and as the PLA. So what could have happened to said distribution company during fiscal year 2020 is what I would talk, because some of them could have had a negative impact in their financial statement. So as all we explain in different webinars, the task contributor had to explain and quantify what had happened in their company, looking for evidence and facts. So that's our recommendation always is to explain that in a local in the local file or in the master file. But in different webinars, in different we give a lot of explanation of what we have to identify and to explain or to quantify in the local file. But so what I want to explain is how this how you can give an analysis to the tax authority comparing the budget of the company and the real financial information of fiscal year 2020, and therefore how we can apply the resale price method in this analysis. So and why I want to explain this, not to you because I know that you understand this, but it's for explaining this to the tax authority, because in Colombia they think that the taxpayer always have to have an operating an earning position, but if you're a distributor, you have different stage in the life of the distribution company that you had to realize that not always you have to use or the way of analyzing is using the TNNM method. So in that case, when we can apply a resale price method at first, when a company enters in Colombia in a startup position, is the method that could be used because of such situation. If the company is in a reorganization situation, because if they don't reorganize the operation, they will enter in Chapter 11. So in that case, you can also, with a huge explanation, you can use the resale price method. And when you're in a crisis or in a pandemic, like what had happened in 2020, that is a good method for analyzing distribution activities. So, saying that, what I want to give here is an explanation, a theoretical explanation, and using a a glass cap distribution company, and starting from the sale price unit of a company that could be, in this example, 100 pesos, with a unit cost of 70 and an estimated gross margin of 30%. I with a comparable company with an interquartile range of 19 up to 34%. And so the quiz, or the question is, how many glass caps should be sold to absorb the operating expenses of the company? So with this analysis, and I go fast to the analysis, because I think is the most important in this presentation, in this slide deck, is that in a pandemic situation, there is a sale reduction compared to budget figure. So what happened is that sales falls, and for getting more sales, the companies give discounts or promotions in the products, and that impact directly to the gross margins with a decrease of the gross margin. So with this, in this chart, what we can see is that we have two different analyses. The first one is the budget analysis, in which what we consider that could be happening in the future or during the fiscal year, and the real financial situation of the company. So this is a theoretical explanation. Many things could happen, but the first and the third quarters goes in line with the budget from a gross margin point of view, or from a resale on sales point of view. But in the third quarter, that is when start the impact of the pandemic situation in Colombia. The sales falls, and also the gross margin falls, and the operating margin falls a lot, because we enter here in many of our companies, and we enter in a loss position. And then in the fourth quarter, we start again climbing our income, and the average of this analysis is that, as can see, is if you do an analysis using the gross margin, or resale price method, the average is 23.3%, and is within the interquartile range. But if you use the ROS on operating margin analysis, you fall into less 11.8 average. No, you fall to an 11% average, so you're below the interquartile range. In that case, what the task of administration could think is that you have a transfer pricing issue, but the reality is that you have a COVID-19 impact in your financial statement. So my proposal in this case, using this information and given all the corresponding explanation in the local file, is doing this TP adjustment of the third quarter. And doing this TP adjustment in the third quarter, you can use as the principal method the resale price method, with a 23.3% of gross margin, and the TNMM, the adjusted TNMM as a complementary analysis in which you will have a 2.3% of adjusted ROS that will be within the interquartile range. And for giving a huge explanation, because sometimes it's needed to explain this to the health authority in Colombia, we had to go back to the university and to remembering that the break-even point is where the revenues cross the total cost. So if you are in a pandemic situation and the sales fall down, you will not have the possibility to support with your earnings the expenses. So doing this chart and explaining this chart with real information to the health authority could help you to explain them why you had to, why the resale price method you can use it, and why the TNMM with that just explained is also a justification or a complementary analysis of the resale price method. As I said, ceteris paribus, many different things that we had to take into account, and that you had to explain also in the informative or in the master file of the company. I go directly straight to this explanation in Colombia, and also we have the negative impact because in our economy or in the financial statement of the multinational or the Latin multinationals company. And so when they are doing this distribution functions and analysis, this could be an example of how to analyze and how to justify the using of both methods and with real information for the analysis. Well, thank you. I am at your disposal in whatever I can support you from Colombia.